Hey there, my name is Michael Blanc, and if you're interested in finding out more about apartment building investing, you are in the right place. Today's topic, the anatomy of an awesome offer package for your next multifamily deal. So let's get right into the teaching. So when you're invited to make a formal offer with a letter of intent or a purchase and sales agreement or PSA, how do you make that offer? I mean, what do you put in that offer? Now, and what mistakes do most people make, and how can you avoid them? So if you have some of the questions about the offer making process, you are in the right place, and because that's exactly what I'm going to talk about in this video. What to put in the offer package, how to present it so your offers get accepted every single time. Your offer package should achieve two goals. Number one, obviously communicate the terms of your offer, obviously, but also it needs to build up your credibility. That's really, really important. And because this is so important, actually, I like calling the offer package more like a credibility package, really. Now, if you're an experienced investor, ignore the rest of this video, okay? But if you're not, then definitely pay attention, because otherwise your chances of getting your offers accepted really go down a lot if you don't get this right. Okay, so let's get right into what are the elements of this credibility package, really is what you're doing. Now, it does have an offer in it, but that's really what we're talking about. Number one is a cover letter. Okay, so start out the package, whatever. Let's say you're making a letter of intent. So a letter of intent is a very simple one or maybe two-page or plain language a document that says, I'm buying it for this price, I'm putting this much down, I want this many days to do diligence, I'm gonna require this many days to close on it. That's really, it highlights the general terms of that. So let's say you're asked to submit that. You made an informal offer, and now we're gonna make your first, quote, formal offer with a letter of intent. Now, don't just send over a letter of intent. That's a mistake number one that most people do. Don't do that, okay? Because you're still in the credibility building phase, even if you're already experienced. If it's a new broker relationship, you're still building credibility and trust with that broker. So put in a cover letter, okay? It should talk about how excited you are about this team, about this deal, and it should be upbeat. It should outline maybe some of the higher level terms of it. It should talk about some people, members of your team. So it's just a very short but a very nice cover letter. Then the actual letter of intent, which we talked about, outlines the terms of the deal. Optionally, you can include a proof of funds letter if that was requested. I talked about that in a separate video on what to do if you get asked for a proof of funds letter. 98% of the time, if you don't sound like a newbie, you will never be asked to do a proof of funds letter. And if you are, always make it contingent on a signed at least letter of intent or even a purchase contract. So you might want to put it in there if you already have it, perhaps. Anything that helps build your credibility is good. Proof of funds letter is an example of that. Your existing portfolio, if you have one, anything like that would help. But if you don't have a prior multifamily experience, and I'm talking about specifically multifamily, if you flipped 100 million houses, no one cares. And I know this because it happened to me. I was like, I flipped 36 houses. I'm the man. And they're like, yeah, but how many multifamily have you done? Well, none, but look at all the houses I flipped. So, and no one cares how many houses you flipped or how many, it just doesn't matter. So if you don't have that, what's very, 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 very important is to put profiles of your team members in there, okay? So never, ever call brokers without having a team assembled. Most importantly, your property manager, okay? Put your property manager bio on, the manager's X thousand units, so-and-so. Put on your SEC attorney, put on your real estate attorney. Again, the more widely known these people are, especially locally by the broker, the better off you are. Maybe you have an advisory board. You have people of experienced multifamily investors who agree to serve on your advisory board. That means you can reach out to them every once in a while with some questions. Maybe you have a coach. Maybe you're part of our coaching program. It's the michaelblanc.com/coaching. And put the coach on there. I mean, that's huge. That's a major, major advisor. So put your team members in that packet as well. Okay? So those are the elements of what you put into your package. Now, trust, again, is key to getting the contracts accepted. So that's really, really important. So if you've played your cards right, you're not just sending over a contract out of the blue. We used to do that in the house flipping side. We had agents making offers on our behalf, and they would submit offers without knowing the broker on the other end or actually seeing the house. Okay, but don't do that with multifamily. It's a relationship-based business. So by the time you submit these documents, you should have already built a relationship with the broker, which means you've called them, you've been responsive, you've made a variety of informal 10-minute offers, perhaps you've done a property tour, you've had a lunch with them. Okay, so you've done a lot of things leading up to that point. Okay, so that's very, very important. Having said that, just by putting this package together out of the blue, it's only half the battle. Also, remember that most brokers, obviously, most deals are brokered through brokers, which means that anything you're doing, the broker is most likely going to show the seller, and the seller is going to make up their own mind. So just keep that in mind. You're not just referencing a conversation you had with a broker. Recognize the fact that the seller has not had a benefit of interacting with you, nor do they want to. Okay, so write your letters in the same way. Repeat things that you may have said to the broker because the seller has not maybe seen them as well. Okay, so that's really it. Those are the elements of a great offer. Most people just don't build the relationships, or they just throw an LOI over the fence, and then they're surprised about why the deal doesn't get accepted. All right, guys, that's all I got today. If you love this video, leave me some comments. Love to hear from you. Also, let me know in the comments if you have any questions. And before you go, make sure you subscribe to my channel because we're putting out videos weekly, and I'd hate for you to miss it. All right, guys. Love you guys. Take care. Catch you next time.